I think so too. Not you. You and you. Come with me.
Mask up.
Oh, there we go. We got our masks on now.
It's gonna be nasty. Now we gotta check to make sure no critters got inside the bags. We found a dead bird over there. R.I.P. birdie.
Oh man, we wrapped these real good.
Probably good considering all the creatures that live in here.
Yeah, I don't see any chew marks on the bag, so there's that.
So you're gonna notice that our seats are not going to be the same color. We're gonna get them recovered, but we got a steal of a deal on them, so we couldn't resist.
That should make things easier.
So what's the goal for today, Garcia?
We're gonna figure out how to get these mounted into the bus. So the goal for today is seeing what size of bolts that we need. I know that we need grade 8 bolts. Hopefully they're just a standard size. Oh, that looks good. It doesn't look like anything's been chewing on it, which is nice. They're used, so no big deal. All right, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 mounting options here, which is nice.
We haven't had seats in the bus for a while, and that means we haven't really rolled the tires for a while. I know that's kind of a no-no.
No.
But yeah, we're both getting eager to drive the bus. I've never driven the bus before. So Brian's gonna teach me because he used to drive fire trucks, so.
And I used to train people on how to drive the fire truck, so.
Yeah. So he knows how to drive big rigs, so I'm in good hands. Super excited to get these seats going. We're gonna frame them out, so hopefully we can figure out how to raise them up a little bit and just get them into place. Yoo!
About 14 inches. Whoa, are we gonna have a lineup? Do we have a match? I think these outer 2 holes are gonna match up just fine. Now let's see going front to back. So we've got, let's see, 11.5 and 10. So let's see what we have here. Front to back. 11.5. 11.5. I wonder if that's standard. I don't know.
They're meant to be.
They are meant to be. This is the right size. Off of the previous seat, I believe this is the right size. That one worked. Let's try this one down here.
So we might just have to buy some more bolts for the second seat.
Yeah, maybe.
Not bad. Look at that.
Look at that.
Take a seat.
Oh wow, that is comfy.
Look at you. Hercules, Hercules.
Hercules.
Don't scratch that floor.
I'm not.
Nice one. So gentle.
Thank you.
So giant.
Let's see where we're at there. So if we were to line up with the pre-existing holes, I think that was too close though.
That was way too close for you. Those massive long legs did not fit.
That's way too close. All right, so the next part, So I think that it's gonna be too low based on how we just experienced it. So let's get a piece of plywood, set it down, and then pull it back and see about how close it needs to be for the front to back.
Yep, then we can figure out the height after that.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, try that. How does that feel?
Shoot, that might be it.
Yeah?
Yeah. We won't know for sure until we're actually driving it. Okay, so when we were driving from Phoenix to San Antonio and then from San Antonio up here to Ontario, one of the problems I had was my legs were too long, and the seat that was here, the original fart collector, if you haven't seen that video, definitely check it out right up here. But that original seat, it was not really the most comfortable seat, and the angle of it wasn't right. So it was causing my legs to cramp up a little bit. The seat was mounted way too close to the pedals, even whenever I had the mechanism pulled all the way back. So it made for a very uncomfortable experience. And so our goal here today is to figure out how high does this seat actually have to be for the position of the pedals, because the angle of the pedals, the angle of the body, there has to be this nice symmetry that happens. Another thing that we're working on is that we want this seat to be able to move forward and backwards. It has the components to do that. And the reason for that is because I really want Erin to learn how to drive the Beatmobile, because it's more of a safety thing. Like if something ever happens and she needs to jump in this driver's seat, she needs to understand like how do the mirrors work with using the mirror grid so that she could see everything. Where's the turning point, the pivot point on the bus, so that she doesn't run into any curbs or anything while taking corners. And so just being able to feel the space that a bus of this size feel the space that it inhabits on the road. And so once you get really comfortable with that, then everything else just flows really smooth, and it ends up just driving like a go-kart essentially. Like it's super peppy, this particular bus that we have. And so I think it's gonna be really, really good. And I think the seat mounted in the right way is really gonna make both of our lives really happy.
My turn. All right. That seems nice. I'm not the whole way back, am I? Or forward?
Let's see, pull it up. Nope, you still have another 1 or 2 notches. Probably.
Oh, crazy.
You're about halfway forward, actually, in between the 2 spots.
Cool.
Yeah.
That feels like a good, like I can put the pedal the whole way down.
Pedal to the metal.
Pedal to the metal. I've never driven anything this big before. It's gonna be awesome.
You've driven a car before though, right?
Yeah,
Was
and
it
I used
automatic?
to have a big car too.
All right, well, this is similar. There's no gears other than the automatic gear system.
Cool. All right, this is a nice position for me, for sure.
Cool. So that might be a good mounting spot.
Yeah. This is so cool. I can't wait to learn how to drive this. Oh wait, I probably would drive a lot slower. If you were like this. We listen to tunes. This is probably the most comfortable seat for driving, like height for my legs that I've ever felt in
Really?
a vehicle. Yeah.
Have you pushed the go pedal down?
Yep.
Yep. Okay, good.
Yep. Usually when I drive, I'm like way too tall or way too short, and my knees are like way jacked up, and no matter how I position the seat, I always just feel like uncomfortable and my legs fall asleep and all that. But I kind of have a feeling that they won't in this, so that's great.
What are you doing over there?
My arm fits in here better than Brian's.
Yeah, it does.
I see.
Right.
Ooh la la. Okay, now let's test the walkway. I mean, it's not bad. It's pretty tight, but it's not bad. I'm just imagining it with a couch here. Brian and I were talking about having the couches here, bringing the couch height up to the same level as the height of these seats, so that when they're, or if they can swivel around, then everybody sitting in this area would be at the same height. That's pretty tight.
But in a Sprinter van, going from the cockpit to the back with swivel seats, it's also tight.
Right. Well, that's pretty comfy.
That's super comfy. We do need to have the armrests because like when you're cruising, it's nice to have something to rest your elbow on.
But I don't feel like you're impinging on my elbow space.
I don't feel like you're impinging on mine either. Oh, this is what it would look like if you were sitting on the steering wheel right now.
That's right.
It's the view you would have. Haha, they arrived!
What is it?
Okay, so these two things is what we're going to use to attach the base of the swivel bottom of the Copilot seat to the floor next to the driver's seat. Now it's a little bit different than how we're gonna do the driver's seat, but hang on, we're gonna get to the driver's seat here in a second, but we need to make sure that all of this fits together first because it needs to fit properly. So what we have here is something by a company called Unwin, and we got this from the UK, well at least that's where they shipped it from. This here is called L-Track. This is the stuff that they use in airplanes to hold down cargo to the floor of airplanes. It's got a lot of little spots here, and this is the top piece of the seat fastener. And what this does is it fastens the seat bottom to the L-Track. Now these are used in a lot of places like transit vehicles, for instance. They have special brackets that fit into the L-Track for holding down wheelchairs, for instance. So they can secure this to the floor, wheelchair then gets secured and they don't have to have a special seat, they just sit in their same wheelchair. Well, you can also use this particular system for seat bottoms so that you can rearrange where your seats are in your vehicles. And so for this application, we're gonna use it for our Copilot seat. So we got two pieces here. We gotta affix this to the floor of the Skoolie, and there's gonna be two of them. We've got two of them right here. And then we have to fix this to the bottom of the, ¿cómo se dice? What is this called?
Swivel base, silly.
Our swivel base, that's right. So we might have to make a little bit modifications because there's this little box here. So we might have to notch this out right here so that it slides in and then secures with these. So let's see what we can do to make this fit.
Being able to remove the seat is kind of important because it's tight quarters getting into the bus. For everyday purposes, it doesn't matter that there's going to be a passenger seat there, but if we are carrying something kind of big into the bus, we may want to remove that seat completely and then we can just walk it right through.
And this is what makes that easy to do, just by locking it in, unlocking it, and pulling it open. We'll show you how it works once we get it all connected.
This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test.
Ear Pro, Eye Pro, Glove Pro.
Well, Brian and Erin taught me one thing about cutting wood. Step one's a mullet. Step two, Mullet Pro.
All right, so we need to make a bracket that's a little bit bigger because this is not really, it's not really gonna fit. So we're gonna make it here out of this big steel. Check it out. Let's see how hot that is. Hold on.
Hot as I bet. Go get your temperature reader. You don't want to touch that barehanded.
279 Fahrenheit. 137 Celsius.
Scale 1 to 10, difficulty level.
Probably about a 7, just because your hands get tired from holding it and keeping it steady. But it went pretty smooth.
Good there, Garcia.
Ah,
Try to
nice. So now we just need to grind these down. So we're gonna flip to the grinding disc, not the flapper disc, the grinding disc, and clean this edge off so that we end up with flat stock. Not quite big enough, but getting there. Well, that was a good nap. All right, so as you see, the steel, oh, that stuff is thick. Okay, so it ends up being that this is 1/4" steel, and this is what we're mounting it to. This bottom here is not quite a 1/4". It's a little bit thinner.
a little bit overkill.
I think it's gonna be good.
Rather do overkill on the thickness of the steel than not, right?
Definitely. So next up is we've got to line all of these up, drill some more holes. We drilled a couple test holes last night just to check it out. Bore those out so that they're bigger. So we've got some step bit that we'll probably use for that. And then everything needs to be like perfectly like square, because this is going to be sliding along a track and that's got to be square. So if it's not square, it won't slide on the track and it'll defeat the purpose of using the damn things, you know?
Darn tootin'.
Yeah.
I'll let him figure that out, and I'll just be the supervisor and probably work on my little wood project.
Ooh, that sounds nice. So we're gonna be using the welder today because we're gonna weld this all together. We're gonna use the flapper disc a little bit more, take off a little bit of that paint so that the weld sticks real nicely.
Yep,
and we're gonna
spray
use
paint.
spray paint and your favorite, the drill press.
Boop,
Boop, boop. All right, so let's figure out what we're gonna do.
It's up to it.
Nice.
Ooh, look at that.
What you got going on?
Oh, this is so fun. Look I'm making more holes in this wood piece. I'm getting better at using the jigsaw, so that's pretty exciting. Yeah, so it's coming along really nice. Crafty AF. This is so much fun.
All right, let's see if this fits. All right, so there's the front. There's those holes. That's the front. There's the front. Put this here just to balance it for a second. And let's see if these holes line up. All right, we're using the last hole. Something I find pretty awesome is that there's a lot of different hole combinations. Each side, it looks like, only needs 3 of these bolts that it came with. They kind of have like Allen head. And so we just picked a couple that looked like they'd work nice. Aha, nice. All right, snug those up just a little bit just to get a little bit of that wiggle out. Let's see how that's fitting on there.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
So far, so good. This needs to go like this. Yes. Good, good, good. And then let's measure 12 inches and 12 inches. Nice. Okay, so we've got enough wiggle room here so that when the tracks are on the floor parallel to each other, they're the same width in between the back edge and the front edge, because if they're canted too much, it won't slide. But if they're parallel, they should slide just fine.
Yeah!
Yeah! While Erin worked on her art project, I continued to square up the removable seat fixtures by Unwin in preparation for drilling the rest of the fixture holes.
After the pilot holes were drilled using the drill press, they were widened using a step bit. Then the Allen bolt would fit.
Lastly, it's important to measure and remeasure to make sure everything is square to each other. Flappy disc time.
We're gonna swap out the discs from the grinding disc, which we don't need, to the flappy disc, which is basically like a sander. So we're gonna sand off the paint here so that Brian can weld those nice big chunks of metal to the base of our swivel chair.
That's probably good. Perfect. All right, so now we're ready to weld. It's going good. I'm putting this on the back side of my head because it's so bright out here that the reflection of the light coming around the back side of the hood is preventing me from seeing through this. Believe it or not, you could actually see what you're doing whenever you don't have a reflection on the inside, so this is really helping.
Yeah! Why are you doing that?
Oh, well, hello there. Just painting it with some anti-rust paint to keep it from rusting. It's a good idea.
That makes sense, I think. Anti-rust paint, no rust. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Preventative.
Preventative. All right, so while that dries, we're gonna grab the driver's seat and start coming up with a frame maroony for that one. This is gonna be a little bit different because we're not using the L track for that. It's gonna be fixed in place, and that one's not gonna be removable, but it is on a swivel base. So hopefully we can position it in a way that we can use the swivel base while we're parked.
Then we could have at least 8 people hang out in our living room area.
Potentially.
Very comfortably, maybe even 10.
Should be pretty cool. All right, let's go check out where the driver's seat is currently. There it is. It's not really doing anything other than just kind of sitting here.
Cruising.
It's not bolted down or anything. So we gotta bring it out and then look at the base and see about making a platform or something that extends back just a little bit.
Is that enough space, silly?
Hopefully. So
that
dirty old skirt. This isn't moving, is it?
No, you haven't moved at all. Now
So-
make sure them long legs fit.
So cruising like this, that's super comfortable for me. We can adjust the back too if we need to. Go up or down. That's comfy.
You look way more comfy than in the original seat.
Whoa, look at you, mister.
Bow, bow, bow. All right. So this is the bottom of the driver's seat. We've got to make up the difference between the original platform that the driver's seat sat on. The driver's seat sat way too close to the steering wheel for my comfort because I'm 6'2" and I'm kind of long-legged sort of fella. So we've got to take up some of the floor that we put down behind it, the subfloor, and then also the foam board. And the reason for that is because the foam board is not very compressible. It is more compressible than solid metal or solid wood. And so one of the things that we're going to do is have a platform for this to span. Part of like about 5.5 inches will be up in front on top of the original driver pedestal, and the backside will be kind of cantilevered off. So we have to make up the difference with using square tube as well as using, como se dice?
Stop saying como se dice. English.
So the backside, we got to make up the difference with square tube as well as a little bit of plywood there. So all of our holes are drilled perfectly. We've got some grade 8 bolts and they should be long enough to go through all the material. So hopefully they are, or we'll have to go find some longer ones there at the store.
After a bunch of measuring, we figured out where to cut the floor out.
That's cool.
Yeah. I still have some finessing to do on the corners just to get them nice and true. But as I get my right angles, I'm going to weld those corners. Like that's a perfect right angle right there. So I'm going to go ahead and weld that corner together. I've already cleaned it up. But as I was cutting, it has burrs and stuff. So I've got the grinding wheel set up, and I'm going to weld them together as I go, make sure it's nice and right. And with the grinding wheel, I'll true up whatever like wobbly happened because I was freehand cutting. So should be a pretty good box for the bottom of the driver's seat. That'll work, right?
You made it solid.
Solid. Yeah, let's get all the rest of the pieces to fit now. This is the not glamorous part. It's just a bunch of measuring.
Why do you think I'm inside playing with wood?
Little box. Ooh, fits perfect.
Does fit perfect.
Well done, Garcia. Yeah. Look at that.
So
That is so cool.
make sure that
That's what happens when you measure 1,000 times.
25.5. 25.5.
Yeah.
Perfect. Nice. So it does have a little teeter, so I think that is going to be a 1/2 inch teeter. Wait, right there.
Bye.
And see if that. Alright, it's got to go on the side like that. There we go.
Perfect.
Perfect. So we need a.
We planned for that.
We did actually.
So a piece is the exact same size as that box.
Yeah, see, whenever I slide this over,
Yeah.
it's like. Zzz.
Perfect. Flush.
Perfect. So we'll cut a little piece of plywood the same size, the 7 by 9 3/4, and we'll put it there. And then After that, we need to mark these holes for drilling. So what we'll probably do is just get a drill bit the right size and then just go and just touch it and then put it in the drill press because it's got to be flush going all the way through both pieces of metal. And then later we'll go through the floor pan also.
Whoa.
But that looks pretty good, right?
That's great.
Nice, and that's totally solid. And then that extends the driver floor pan out so that we could, because originally the seat was mounted this close to the steering wheel, and that's why it was uncomfortable to drive 2,600 miles from Phoenix to San Antonio up here to Ontario. But with it back like this and being able to move the seat back and forth, so much more comfortable, so much more ergonomic. That's what I love about building a Skoolie so far, is you can make it your own.
Yay! High five. So you're just doing a purchase point?
Yeah. So that's a cobalt bit. I went just dead nut right in the middle of the hole there. So now we've got that hole, and we also have marks here where it needs to be drilled through.
Yes.
So we'll go drill these big holes, and then we'll verify that those are the right marks. So let's go drill these first, and then place it there again, line it up with the bolts, and then we'll take it the next step and drill through the metal. Yeah. See if that's centered or not. I don't know. We'll see.
God damn, that bus looked good.
Yeah. All right, that's pretty close to center on both of those.
Whoop. We don't have something that big cobalt, do we?
We don't have a cobalt that big, but we have a step cobalt bit. All right.
Cobalt bit. We're gonna
Deal.
drill through the whole steel piece and then use the step bit after. All we have for those huge bits is wood bits, but we do have a cobalt step bit that we can use once we get like a nice little purchase point. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna use our biggest straight cobalt drill bit, and then we're gonna use the step bit.
We might need longer bolts
Oh no!
for that one. This front one's got plenty of room.
But it also has to go
5/8.
through the steel plate.
Yeah, it's gotta go through the steel plate on, yeah. So we need to figure out how much longer we need, because that feels,
The base.
yeah, that's solid. That's touching the white.
That'll mark it.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Oh, so then you can drill through the white. Ooh.
The center is right here.
I felt it.
We all did.
Step it.
Perfect.
So I can see. Perfect. Perfect. Let me do a little more on that one.
What is on the other side of that?
Might have to drill a hole through whatever that is.
Yeah, we might.
Shining light.
All right, Sharon, the other hole?
Other hole.
Oh, that shouldn't be a problem. Perfect. I've got about 2 inches that hole. Yep.
That's what the bolt looks like.
With the bolt lengths estimated, we went ahead and spray painted the driver's seat steel tube insert and left it to dry overnight. Woo, I guess that's the second nap we had to take during this project. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was a Skoolie. So today we've got the seat bottom. It's all completely dried now. So we get to mount the track to the bottom of it. And then we also get to start mounting the L track that goes onto the floor, also on the bottom of the Skoolie. Something else that we noticed is when we were putting in the driver's seat, we noticed that the 3-inch bolts were too short. So we went ahead and got some 4.5-inch bolts. Then I think these will fit a lot better because the 3-inch were short by about 1/4 of an inch or so from hanging out the bottom. So we got some new grade 8 longer ones that should go below the floor pan and be able to secure properly. So let's get started.
I'll dry.
Looks good. Look at that. Woo! We're gonna put that under our seat.
Nice.
I think that'll be strong enough.
Definitely.
All right, so now I'm gonna cut a little piece. Oh, it's like the perfect size. I'm just gonna cut this little piece of foam to put in the middle of this so that little patch is insulated. This is called eyeballing. You use your eyeballs, you eyeball it. And then you freehand it. It's not perfect. Let's see if it works though. Yeah, I know, Brian would have done this on the first try. He would have measured it. Not me though. I like to do shit complicated.
You're doing great.
It's more exciting. Look at all the things I made. This little
Confetti.
Look at that.
Perfect. Nice.
I use my eyeballs.
I used my eyeballs for that. I eyeballed it. Decent.
Looks great. Good job.
Ah! Wiggly wiggly!
Quickly, wiggly.
We then wiggled the swivel seat base around so the 4 bolts seated fully through the floor pan.
All right, heading under.
Front nut?
Yeah.
Ha, I can see you.
You can see me. Okay, so that's the...
I'm trying to hold it as tight as I can, but you're stronger than me. Is it working?
Yeah.
Okay.
So whichever direction the wrench is forcing, if you have it spin around and rest against the metal it's next to, then you don't have to hold the force. The metal will hold it.
It's pretty far. There you go. I don't know if that'll do it. Is that doing it?
Yeah.
So I've got this box end wrench and I'm pushing it against the base of the seat and holding the top of the bolt. And Brian's under the bus right now. He's putting the nut and washer on the bottom to hold it secure. So me using the edge of the seat is giving me resistance against Brian because he's stronger than me. So now he should be able to get it tighter.
How wiggly is it?
Oh, it's pretty tight now.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's really tight. Next.
All right, let's move to the next front one. It was easy to talk with each other through the floor to tighten the last 3 nuts. We ended up using locking washers with nylock nuts to hold the driver's seat in securely against the reinforced steel floor pan.
Here it comes.
It's freaking dirty under there. Look at that.
That's what it looks like when you lay down on the job. Dirty.
I have to get a little mouth rinse. All right, so it's super, super dirty under there, but those bolts are so tight. The little lock washers compressed perfectly. The nylon nuts will help prevent it from backing out also. And now we've got a solid base to put on the driver's seat. But first, before we do that, Actually, I think we do need to put on the driver's seat next because that needs to be there in order for us to get the spacing right. All right.
Look at that. Cutie.
Hopefully I'm not getting this thing all dirty since I was just under the bus.
You dirty.
I know, I'm filthy right now.
Dirty Garcia.
Oh.
Look at that.
All right, so we got these brand new bolts. I'm over here laying on the job again. Again.
This guy's a slacker today. Sweaty, dirty slacker.
Sweaty, dirty slacker, yes. That is me.
I'm gonna come out of this day so clean. I'm working hard today.
Hard.
You want me to hold this chair? I can just set this camera here.
Using a socket set and hex head body bolts, we attach the driver's seat to the swivel base.
Here we go. Testing it out. That feels solid and it's in a good spot. So let's try going forward. That is a solid base.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. That's like perfectly height for my body. I want to see what you think about it also, because I think that we've got the height set for both of us. And then if we wanted to swivel it, we might have to do like an Austin Powers sort of swivel, if it even works. But if anything, it's the height of the pedestal that we're going after. So let me swivel it.
I think if the other seat isn't in there, like if we can take the other seat out, we'll be able to do it.
Yeah. So we'll swivel. So it cleared the back.
Oh shoot, boom boom. We got full swivel.
We have full swivel.
Full swivel. Holy shnikes, folks.
And then we can, where's the thing? There it is.
We just have to make sure when we build the couch, we give the couch enough space now for that.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta do this one.
Woo-wee!
How's it on the steering
It's
wheel?
like up against it, but that's
fine. That's fine.
Who cares?
This is just if we need to have both of them facing that direction. And depending on where the couch is, this might not be so comfortable, but it might be able to be like...
Well, they can both be on kind of a diagonal.
Yeah. Cool.
Or one's on a diagonal, one's straight.
Cool. So we just have to Austin Powers it. That's fine. But it clears the side over here, which is nice. So that's locked. There we go. All right, you want to try it?
Yep.
All right.
Oh, that's nice.
So the one on that side is for swivel, and then the one in the front is for going forward. I'm all the way back right now.
Am I the whole way up?
Nope, you still have like 2 more clicks to go.
Oh, okay. That's where we were last time.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh, that is so cool. Oh my gosh.
That's comfy, huh?
Slow ride. Take it easy. I just imagine listening to like old school tunes and driving this. Led Zeppelin, whatever. I want to listen to a bunch of great music driving this thing.
That's so great.
It's gonna be so fun. We're gonna be able to sit beside each other and sing and laugh and navigate. I love this. I have never sat in a driver's seat before and felt like my legs are in a good position. Usually I'm like so short and my knees are jacked up to the ceiling. And even if I like pump the thing to like bring my bum up, it never goes high enough. So this is actually really cool. I have confidence that I'm gonna be able to drive this vehicle.
That's so great. Next up, Copilot Chair goes right here. Luckily we already have the base already ready. So now we need to set it in here and kind of measure it off and make sure that we have it right.
Set our tracks down.
Yep, set the tracks down and everything. 9 5/8. 9 5/8. Perfect. We just want to make sure that it's parallel as much as possible so that whenever they slide, it goes nice and smooth. So let's go dry fit this and check it out. Okay, so now, before we start cutting the floor out, we need to bolt the seat onto this so that then we can determine how close to the driver's seat it can sit. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm gonna use the multi-tool to start cutting out the spot for the tracks on the floor. Our goal is to sink the tracks into the floor so they won't be toe steppers. Pretty good idea, huh? I'll cut the rest with the circular saw. Speaking of which, circular saw has arrived.
After cutting through the barnwood floor and subfloor, we removed those 2 wood layers, then scraped out the insulation below to get down to bare metal.
So like the other seat, we need to take the foam out from underneath the tracks. So it's not like squishy underneath it. Tell me your original idea.
So originally I was thinking of taking up the space with plywood and maybe a few different layers of it, and then we would just laminate it together with some Gorilla Wood glue.
A great idea.
And the reason why we need to do that is just like Erin said, it's a little squishy. So even though that we had the subfloor in and we had wood on top of that, the foam underneath it still has some squish. So when we're cranking down that seat and really tightening it down, that foam's gonna compress. And if so happened there was ever collision, which I hope that there never is, that could cause the seat to buckle. So we need straight to the floor pan connection, and part of the instructions for these floor mounts that we have is that you can have a subfloor, but you just can't have anything compressible under it.
So what we're gonna do is take a 2x4 instead and put it in that place. So we have to cut a whole bunch of little pieces of plywood.
Makes sense. And it just so happens to be that if we rip a 2x4 in half, we will have 2 perfectly lengthed and thickness and height pieces. So
What can I say? My eyeballs.
your eyeballs.
I eyeballed it.
You
I was
eyeballed
like,
it, that's
hey,
for
I
sure.
bet a 2x4 will fit in that spot.
All right,
Instead,
so here we go. Let's cut it.
Let's do it.
Bit.
Look at that.
Did it fit?
Yeah, I just probably gotta put it in straight.
Yeah, just push that in down. Yeah, push it all the way in.
I am.
Nice.
See me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. And
Slow
then-
clap.
We'll tap this one in too.
That does a hammer. Smarty pants.
There we go.
Whoa.
Oh, like a glove.
Holy.
That works, huh?
Dang, boom boom.
That's pretty cool, huh?
Look at that.
Oh, and it's got perfect amount of clearance.
Yes, nobody's gonna stub their toes on that.
No, it's got like underneath here also, it's got like a 1/4 inch of clearance.
Right on. Okay, so we just took the track and we marked the holes where all the big bolts are gonna go. And now we're gonna pull the tracks up and drill the holes through the wood and through the floor pan.
All right, go. Done. All right, ready and go. All right, go. All right, ready?
You ready?
Stop.
We coordinated screwing in the rest of the bolts with nylock nuts and fender washers for the remaining holes in the L-track as per Unwin's product installation instructions. This is definitely a two-person job.
All right.
Towards me a bit. That just depends where we're gonna put it. There we go.
There we go. Now we turn this a quarter turn. Now push it back towards me. There we go, it's locked in. Now we twist these and tighten them. That's what snugs it into the track.
Cool. Look at that. A well-deserved seat. Man, it's nice to have somewhere to chill and sit down in the bus. Wow.
This is great.
Holy.
I think I got the seats kind of dirty when I was manhandling it.
Be dirty.
Dirty.
This is so comfortable.
So freaking comfortable.
Are you sure I need to learn how to drive this?
You don't need to learn how to drive if you don't want to.
I want to learn how to drive it.
I think it'd be a good idea if she learns how to drive it.
This is just a super comfy, like, lounge hangout.
Yeah, and I like that this seat, it is super secure. That Unwin mount, the L-track, and then the floor mount that goes on the bottom of the seat.
Easy.
It's solid though. Like when the little holes drop down in and we were moving it back and forth, it's not like some flimsy piece of like lightweight material. Like this stuff was super freaking solid. So I'm very happy.
Real deal.
Super happy with those.
Since we did the curved skylights, I don't think we've rolled the tires. And that was a month ago. That was like January?
I think so. All right, getting ready to start the ignition.
Roger that.
How's everything look back there?
Ready for your roll.
Here I come.
Look at that. Boom, boom. You see me?
You're in a good spot. I'm gonna come straight back, all right?
Okie dokie. Looking good. Oh my god.
You're looking good too back there, by the way.
Thank you.
You guys are down too.
All right, looking good.